what does it mean for me to be a peacemaker in this world? And I think the answer to those questions is that this is a call to peacemaking as a full expression of the gospel. And so today, that's how we really want to focus our time this morning, is how we can be peacemakers, which in turn is a full expression or demonstration of the gospel. And so we will begin perhaps with a progressive step into the case study. To begin with, we will start with a situation of conflict that happens in a church context. And this is secondary to what's going to come after that. We really want to focus the majority of our time in our discussion on the situation of conflict that happens outside of a church context or in a non-Christian context. And so what we're going to do is we will brainstorm some of these different situations, perhaps some circumstances that you might find yourself in currently, or maybe you have been through and now you are on the other side of. But something that you can work together as a group to resolve this conflict in the way of a peacemaker, and particularly considering how your action or inaction in this conflict may be perceived by those around you, particularly those who know you well enough to identify you as a follower of Jesus Christ. So one example might be perhaps you serve on a condo association board, and there is one particular board member who is pretty challenging, to the point that there are several others on the board who have since left or departed, and there are other condo residents who are reluctant to join because of this particularly challenging member, whom has been described as harsh, they've got malintent, are difficult, these types of things. What is your responsibility as a peacemaker? Do you let words and emails fly, or do you offer yourself up as a sacrificial lamb? The questions that we really want to work together today with is how we can be in situations of conflict, which certainly come up in our daily life experience, and how in the middle of that conflict can we be image bearers and peacemakers that when people look at our the way that we've carried ourselves or perhaps the group through conflict, that they would say, wow, I understand what the presentation of the gospel is. This is a full expression of the gospel. To where when people see the reconciliation that happens, the healing that takes place, the freedom that is offered, just like Jesus reveals within this segment in Luke where he is quoting Isaiah, that they would say, man, this peacemaker absolutely has expressed the gospel. And so we're going to begin by giving you, of course, the time to do the personal reflection, and then your group can efficiently debrief we mentioned on page 30 within the workbook the specific conflict that is within a church, and you guys can efficiently work through that one. That's kind of the low-bearing fruit. And then afterwards, to really focus the majority of your time on a conflict situation that happens outside of a church. So let's try to really focus on that for the rest of our time. So without further ado, I will leave you to personal reflection, and whenever you feel your group is ready for that, you can transition into the time of the case study where you're responding to the conflict within a small group or church context.